So if everyone's seated, I'll go ahead and call the meeting back to order. Thank you. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. And a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Mr. Whitson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That takes us to the first item on the agenda, the public comment. If you'd like to comment, say approach the microphone, but we don't have one set up. So you can stand where you're comfortable. Come to the front if you'd like. Keep your comments to 3 to 5 minutes. Please identify yourself by name and the district that you're from, and address your comments to the board. Anyone that wishes to speak? Yes, Ms. Dalton. So sorry. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
I'd like to begin by reading something from the column, front page column in the Rappahannock News of July 29th, 2004. The headline was, "The county's comp plan is in the hands of the supervisors. The proposed Rappahannock County Comprehensive Plan is waiting approval by the Board of Supervisors at a time when many in government and public interest feels the county faces the biggest, greatest land development in its history." As Commissioner, Alvin Henry said Wednesday, "It's only a matter of time until they present a planned community and test us. Here's the Commission to consider making 50 acres instead of 25 as a minimum size for a lot subdivision." Charles Stripmatter urged his colleagues studying Rappahannock's villages with an eye to setting clear boundaries and regarding whether villages need to engage professional planners to assist in clearing planning for the future. Paths is still well for the future sometime. Sorry, I have to take it out. Rappahannock has been committed to maintaining its beauty and several character over allowing indiscriminate development. Flash forward to October 2020. The intention of the Board of Supervisors 16 years ago was to preserve the beauty of rural Rappahannock. That's been achieved, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. The current draft of the comprehensive plan is focused not only on preservation and protection of Rappahannock's natural beauty, but also on economic growth. We thank the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors for their leadership. Part of the joy of living in Sperryville is the diversity and independence and creativity of the people who live here. The renaissance and vitality of Sperryville is related to the investment and hard work of its residents. The current draft of the comprehensive plan defines the boundaries of each of the 5 villages, with the initial Sperryville map boundary following the lines of the sewer system. Do we need a boundary at all? If there is to be a boundary, shouldn't there be input from the community? Where we draw those lines has many implications. What is the impact on homeowners within and adjacent to the commercial district? Does a boundary promote the unique charm of the village? Activities, programs, and surveys done by the Sperryville Community Alliance have breathed new life into the community. Will the boundary make it easier to get variances for projects such as traffic calming and continued development of health insurance? How will a commercial district define, promote, or hinder diversity of businesses that meet the needs of all of our citizens? Are there implications for housing? Subdivisions have always been discouraged. Thank you, Mr. Henry. We retain that value. What is the actual capacity of the Sperryville 34-year-old sewer system? Rappahannock is a county with a definite trend toward an aging population. The need for housing has been quantified. Where might housing projects such as co-housing relocated? Decisions will take into account the needs of residents and hold the goals of retaining scenic beauty, protecting natural waters and resources, and the nature. These have been a few of the questions related to the definition of our village and proposed boundaries. In brief, we're requesting the following. We have given to a petition with 97 signatures, I believe. We moved the Sperryville system map and recently substituted map as a designation of the boundary for the comprehensive plan. Appoint a commission to develop a comprehensive vision for Scarborough, which might lead to a boundary. Request an independent engineering analysis of the existing sewer system, assess the capacity and inflow and infiltration. Delay any rezoning of land in or adjacent to Scarborough until adoption of the comprehensive plan, thus avoid any state challenge of spot zoning. I'm not representing a group of people, but we passed around this petition and asked people what they thought. And people want to contribute positively to the development of the village boundary, but feel left out of the process. And there are so many implications to this in terms of what it means to the life of the village that our citizens would like to be part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Dolphy. Anyone else wishing to speak? Yes.
Anita Ramos, Hampton District. In the planning commission meeting some short time ago, I made some suggestions, small tweaks to the comprehensive plan. Nothing exciting or unusual, but the planning commission was kind enough to pass most of those suggestions off to you all, and I hope you will consider them all. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Yes, Cynthia.
I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I feel really strongly the county's going in the wrong direction by deciding to switch trajectory from fiber to the home to an all wireless network, or a broadband authority that's wireless or anything else is wireless, or a telecommunications plan. The COVID-19 pandemic has been used to try and force us all onto wireless with no oversight of these companies, into losing many of our constitutional rights, and into looming tyrannies such as threat of forced vaccines, forced tracking, a possible future cashless credit system for money, where only the obedient can buy or sell, and this seems to be only getting worse. For anyone who's done the research, not read the propaganda, or is sensitive to the radiation, it is a direction which will blanket us in a wireless surveilled prison and destroy our health and our environment, and mainly our freedoms. Fiber to the premises, the fiber that backs up all wireless, is the safest and fastest and least trackable technology. It was the original mission statement to do this. Even if it takes time, fundraising, waiting on REC's, Rappahannock Electric Cooperative's decision, giving them time to come to a decision, planning long term, I think we should go with what's right. We shouldn't take a short-term fix. If you go with outside companies coming in from outside counties that have wireless plans, they're going to impose a wireless plan here. The wireless will affect everyone, especially if it's to 95% of the county. And those who know they would be made sick or sensitive to it should have a veto on that, and they should have a voice in it. It shouldn't be forced radiation in every home. Our county and the residents here are worth protecting. Our environment is worth protecting, even if it's not politically correct. And the proliferation of wireless toxic technology will destroy that. Thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Matthew Black?
It's hard to talk and breathe through it at the same time, so sorry. I'll try to stand somewhere where I can spray back off here. My name is Matthew Black. I reside in the Piedmont district. And I'm going to follow up on Barbara Dolphy's comments. That is how we define our village boundaries and the potential role of maps. Now, I've got a statement here and I'll leave with you. but I will read from it just to be to the point. Amendments to the draft comprehensive plan propose to use maps to define village boundaries. In general, this seems like a reasonable suggestion that would add clarity in answering questions like what comprises a village, such as Amosville or Sperryville. This kind of clarity would be useful to the extent the county wanted to encourage and allow future development in the villages. For example, a village boundary could mark where the minimum 25-acre lot could be made smaller. The use of zoning in this way, of course, would create incentives and allow for greater density within village boundaries, and perhaps lead to more reasonably priced housing. So what's the best way to define our villages from the perspective of map overlays? How tight, how wide should the boundaries be? Should the maps be governed by infrastructure, such as available water treatment capacity? Should it be governed by topography, existing roads, preferences of village residents, commercial interests, or what? How would our ability to control or manage future development within our villages be affected by officially sanctioned maps? It's not clear to me and others that the maps proposed in the amendments to the plan, that is a comprehensive plan, reflect the outcome of any analysis or agreement among county residents. I and others believe the village maps should be the output of local planning processes rather than an ad hoc set of definitions. The currently proposed maps seem more like an assertion than the result of public consensus. Using Sperryville as a case in point, it's not clear that the sewer system should be the basis for defining the village boundaries. Perhaps it should be smaller because of other factors such as traffic concerns or sustainable access to well water. Then it raises questions like how much development is enough or too much? What kind of development should be encouraged and permitted? And so on. All of these will influence the shape of the village's boundaries. For Sperryville, the capacity of the existing sewer system is central to the proposed map. Yet there's very little hard evidence on the condition of this 30-year-old system. What future maintenance will be required? How many additional units could the current system support? Could it be in